did their boiler room, and he sent me finals pictures.
Oh,
and I
cool.
said, "Can we make that the backdrop?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah, absolutely." So now we're in his basement. So yeah, we can
Gotcha.
do job sites.
So when we get really good, we'll say, if you look right here.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know.
And we can have text. We can have a red circle. We could zoom in on the part that you're pointing at.
Yeah.
But I was just telling them the fun part of this, guys, is like there's something about all of our, 5th grade chemistry class or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
When you get people playing with water chemistry and they just love it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like every guy kind of is like, "Oh, this is cool. Let me mix this with that," and the litmus paper to test for that.
Right.
They're actually having fun.
It's funny you say that. That's the first thing I thought of when I saw the water testing kit and the litmus tests and everything, and it took me right back to, I think it was kind of middle school, junior high, where you have to.
Yeah.
The first time I was ever told about pH levels, and
Right.
we went out to a creek out back and tested the water and stuff.
Right.
I mean, it's something pretty simple, but you also understand the importance and.
I'm Mike Graham, president of AtoZ Sales. I started in the industry approximately 30 years ago, 3 decades. So it's been a good business. And our guest today, Doug Simpson, comes from Adey Innovations. Doug lives here in Illinois and is taking the lead on the sales and marketing of Adey North America. And with that, I'll kind of let Doug talk more about Adey.
Thank you, Mike. Yeah. Our mission at Adey then is just working with folks like AtoZ and other rep agencies throughout the U.S. here. Sort of our first priority to really just be a resource of information and education, like you said, to inform end users and contractors and the market in general on the importance of water quality and how to achieve that quality of water and through different products and techniques and like at Adey, it's a balance between filtration and the use of chemicals to consistently keep the water quality where it needs to be. And as technology continues to advance within component design for these systems, there's more and more a mix of different materials, different metals, and all of that creates a continuing and growing challenge of maintaining that water quality. So it takes the right technique, it takes the right understanding of these systems to.
Maybe I can ask you, what does cause corrosion? Is it dissimilar metals or what?
Yes, basically at the basic sense, our number one thing we're fighting and trying to capture with the filters is what's referred to as magnetite. It's iron oxide. Magnetite is sort of the in-between stage between full oxidized corrosion and the natural state of the material. So as that magnetite builds up and finds its way in all the nooks and crannies throughout the system, it can create blockages. It creates inefficiency within the system. So that corrosion is what we're trying to
impede or stop.
Yeah,
or
and prevent in some cases. Exactly. Yeah.
We a lot of times in our industry, we react all the time. We're reacting. So like in that Springfield school district, he had to react season after season to a lost heat exchanger in a grade school. And when he would see the amount of debris that had built up in there, he just started to suspect this is just going to keep happening, and it's going to keep happening in all the grade schools. So that's why they reached us. We were able to get them set up with the MagnaClean filters. We were able to flush the system and clean the system, and then also put the inhibitors into the new water supply. Mm-hmm. And he wanted to go through the first heating season and see how it performed, and it performed great. And so he's proposed that the other 6 or 8 grade schools go through the same process. And that it's just a much more proactive approach rather than reacting to failures or lost, comfort issues. You're proactively maintaining the system.
We've really been for a long time living with an issue that we didn't know existed,
Right.
in many cases, especially on the residential side, where you might notice that some radiators aren't, or any sort of heat emitter is not working the way it used to. It might not come up to temperatures as quickly or hold temperatures as well. And you may think it's just the age of the equipment or whatever, but as we educate the market and everyone starts to understand more and more that there's things going on inside the system, within that the water specifically, that is really just making the system inefficient or inhibiting the process, like you talked about earlier. So.
You would ask the question, why? Why are we doing this? And it's, because better living indoors with consistent, reliable air and water temperatures is mission critical kind of thing.
Right.
And so the AtoZ products basically enable that reliable, consistent water temp and water supply that help. And then basically there's a lot of maintenance costs associated to keeping that reliable over time. And in our business, so far, in my experience, over a number of years, we really haven't been good at predictive maintenance, and we really haven't necessarily been good at maintenance.
Right.
And I think as the products, the equipment keeps advancing technology-wise, some of the water passages are much smaller.
Yeah.
And debris builds up quickly and causes troubles.
Yep.
So basically, what we're doing is getting debris out of the system, keeping the water in the condition that allows the equipment to perform.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I keep talking about how the best design system, and this is where, we work together, is that you guys are designing a system for day one, for example, and you can use the best equipment, the best materials, the best design, and really you're starting a game from day one when you talk about the quality of the water. As soon as things are operating and working, then you're fighting the natural process of breakdown and corrosion and debris. So, even the best design system up front requires that maintenance you talked about and the removal and capture of debris. So that's where, the filtering process and also the chemicals work together to, keep that water as pure and clear as possible, because then it just helps the equipment that you've all designed and installed to work as efficiently as possible. So.
We geek out about this stuff.
Yeah.
I do. You know what? When you see the look on Ken's face, the facilities manager at the grade school district, who's been doing this his whole life, he doesn't have to work anymore. He's probably on his last 5 years, and great people, great guy. And I know what he's thinking. He's thinking, gosh, it's such a shame that everything that I know isn't going to get passed on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like he knows, just so much.
Yeah.
After so many years. And a lot's going to get passed on. But I bet you in the future, we're better at that and transitioning to the next guy. That's kind of part of this too. It's like you had good maintenance procedures. Oh, he retired.
Yeah.
And then let's start from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so much, my background is more from manufacturing, and there's a couple points you've made today that resonate with that entire industry of, what you were just talking about there is, tribal knowledge, right? It's you have this one knowledge holder that as soon as they retire and walk out the door, everything's gone. Procedures, one-off scenarios, things like that. It's it just disappears. And then another thing you mentioned of, basically what I would phrase cost of poor quality. As you let a system deteriorate naturally, and if you're not maintaining it frequently and appropriately, then it's the cost at the end can far outweigh what it would have been to just properly maintain it throughout the time. So
Yeah. I think everyone can relate to that.
yeah,
Lost.
you can save a lot of money
Yeah.
over a lot of years by not changing your oil in your car,
Yeah.
but then one day it's going to cost you a lot.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely.